Hello everyone, quick little video today. If you recall in the Stgw 57 deep dive disassembly video, I removed the front sight with the help of this armor's tool, which as a reminder does several things. One, it acts as a bench block. There's a micrometer nut to memorize the position of the front sight, a conical nut to clamp it in place, and this hand wheel or thumb wheel right here that compresses the dovetail to allow easy removal. Now, this is all fantastic, but the issue is these tools are not very common. So if you do have to change out or remove the front sight, well, you have to do it another way. There are many ways to skin the cat. And really, there's no need for fancy tools. What I would recommend and what I want to show you is the cheaper method. So a 4mm punch, a brass punch right here, and just a simple hammer, and of course a set of feeler gauges. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. So to replace the micrometer nut of the original armor's tool, we're going to have to measure, basically choose a datum, which I would arbitrarily set to the right side of the sight base, measure that to this edge. And so when we replace or change out the front sight, we can easily re-register the sight into the correct position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take apart the feeler gauge set and select basically a pair of gauges that suits this protrusion as much as possible. Let's first try it with 1mm. You can feel an edge. I'm just going to improvise and put, let's say, 1.5. Do a little stack here. You can still feel a step, but we're getting close. Let's see, 1.7. So very, very close. Let's add very thin 0.05. Just going to sandwich it between the two. I think that should get us pretty close. Yep, I say we're dead flush. So the conclusion is that with this stack of feeler gauges, which is 1 plus 0.7 plus 0.05, we're 1.75 from this edge to this edge. So we just need to memorize that, and then we can start actually removing it. Second part comes from driving this pin out. What you want to do is that you want to support only the sight base. If you rest the front sight against your bench block and start driving this pin out, you're going to start moving the front sight because only your friction is holding it in place. It doesn't really matter much for disassembly, but for reassembly, you want to make sure that the front sight stays in the position you registered it in. Now, in my particular case, I can use this area of the bench block here. So I could rest the front sight base directly on there, and you can see that I still have some clearance for the front sight. Basically, it floats in place. I'm just going to drive this out using a standard punch right here. If you recall, in the disassembly video, I used a modified version, which is nice, but not strictly necessary. Just rest it in there, just get it started. Now, once the pin is out, you can see that the front sight is firmly pinched in place. There are two ways to remove it. Either you have to pinch the dovetail using plier wrenches, or you can simply drift this out since only friction is holding it in place. I'm just going to pick a favorable position on the bench block and just remove it. And off comes your front sight. And to replace it, you simply go reverse. So set the new front sight onto the dovetail and just get it started. And now I'm going to verify that I've set the front side at the correct position. Still a little more. And I think we're very good, pretty close. We're just going to replace the spring pin. Let's not forget, split side facing up to allow good distribution of the load. I'm going to use a brass punch to set it back in place. Don't forget, make sure not to touch the front sight. It's a bit of a three-handed job. There you go. Now the pin is flush. Just going to check the front side is positively retained. I'm going to verify that the position is correct. Yep, we're good. The front side has not moved. Check for movement. And of course, if the front sight you used is brand new, this marking right here would not exist. I have an example right here. So you would basically use a special staking punch to align with the marking right here and just pound it in place. Now in this case it's not needed, but at least that gives you an idea. So I hope that short video was useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.